But here's what we really came for. That's right, we almost went a year without coming back, but no, we won't. Oh, yes. There are entirely too many tourists here. With sandwiches in our bellies, let's go to Norristown. I want to ride a funky train.
What?
A funky train.
Like from Willy Wonka?
I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Like the boat that they say.
I don't think they called that the funky train. That sounds like a boat. Oh, that's not a trolley. Bad luck. It ain't as clean as New York, that's for sure. Despite its rolling stock being several decades older, the Broad Street line has the Market Frankford line beat in terms of livability. Taking this north-south subway provides the transit tourist with a straight shot across the city from the trackless trolley lines of North Philly to the sports stadiums of the city's south side, all in the comfort of a 1982 vintage Kawasaki subway car with marker lights and backlit signage for stop information inside and outside each car.
Doors are closing. Doors are closing.
I've taken the Market Frankford line more often than this line, given the former's connection to Amtrak at 30th Street Station, but I've clearly been missing out on this interesting line, especially the Broad Ridge Spur, which during busier weekday hours can be boarded from Girard Station going southbound on the opposite platform to get into a different part of Center City than we had taken the train in from. Here we go. A number of videos elsewhere on YouTube have covered all aspects of this line, but we're just using it shortly, hopping toward regional rail at North Philadelphia Station. It's a lot better than the Market Frankford. There she goes! This station was at one point to be the diverging point for a reuse of SEPTA's Chestnut Hill West line, with the Broad Street line going surface to the namesake neighborhood in the 1940s. The more notable North Philadelphia station once served as a venerable inner-city rail station, allowing for boarding of Pennsylvania Railroad trains outside of Center City bound for Chicago and countless other points. It's now an almost disused station served sparsely by SEPTA Trenton Line trains, as well as a few of Amtrak's Northeast Corridor and Keystone service. This is certainly a neighborhood outside of most people's idea of touristic pursuits, but with the right mindfulness of your surroundings during daylight, there's some relics in plain sight left over from Philly's railroad history to be seen. The former Reading North Broad Station House building has been repurposed as office space and public housing for nonprofit Volunteers of America. It stands now separate from any modern station components at SEPTA Regional Rail's North Broad Station, which is not quite the simplest station to be found in Philly's comprehensively plotted network. See, Philly is the city that never took down its trains that were just kind of laced under and around all the streets. Silverliner 4s and 5s make their way from Lansdale, Doylestown, and our destination today of Norristown through the Center City Connection Tunnel, with through-running trains exchanging destinations to points beyond from 30th Street Station. That would have at one point been a major inner-city rail station. And now it's just a kind of secondary stop on the commuter rail lines. So, yeah. The signals. Nothing one couldn't do on the subway, trolley, or bus lines with greater frequency, but the relative comfort of the commuter-level services and the history of the lines on which they have served, going back nearly 200 years prior, making it an appealing choice for ourselves today. This Sunday afternoon Norristown-bound train is comprised of Silverliner 5 cars, featuring large windows and comfortable modern commuter rail seats. It's by no means a luxury option on its own, but when placed in context of the traffic-laden Schuylkill Expressway running along the opposite bank of the river, our train offers a pleasant trace through great examples of old stock East Coast villages, now suburbs that, thanks to a variety of modes to commute around the region, remain higher density to this day. The winter may have left the trees without much color, but we get a further distance through which to peer into neighborhoods along the way, and we're endowed with a mild 60+ degrees Fahrenheit temperature on this late December Sunday, perfect for our planned run around the metro. From one Wawa in the old city downtown to Bryn Mawr via that so-called funky train I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Certainly not this stately line. The quirky but historical Norristown high-speed line will be our planned connection near the end of this regional rail ride, and then onward to some kind of dinner fare from my favorite convenience store brand in America.
Next stop, East Falls. This stop, East Falls. Watch your step when exiting. Next stop, Wisconsin. This stop, Wisconsin. Watch your step when exiting. stop, Matty Yuck. Watch your step when exiting. Next stop, Ivy Ridge. This stop, Ivy Ridge. Watch your step when exiting. This stop, Yukon. Watch your step when exiting. Next stop, Spring Mill. This stop, Spring Mill. Watch your step when exiting. This stop, Conshohocken. Watch the gap when exiting. Next stop, Norristown Transit Center. For connections to SEPTA Norristown high-speed line and buses.
From Norristown, there are SEPTA bus connections, but our path southeast is established on the upper level platform, high above the banks of the Schuylkill River, on the most characteristically Philly of modes of transit in Philly, the Norristown high-speed line. Sorry for the convenience. All right, I get it. It's on its way into the station. This ain't a roller coaster.
He got on the beat, and he got on the B team and beat him.
The high-speed line is comprised of Swedish-engineered cars built on the concept of Bud's subway cars. Is it a light rail line? SEPTA categorizes it as heavy rail, a unique breed of third-rail running train on an old interurban line. The cars have a feel similar to the oldest trains presently running on Chicago's CTA, but the cab ends are more akin to Pittsburgh or St. Louis. Trains make stops by request, and certain schedules follow local, limited, and express running patterns at variously defined stations, all of which have a unique suburban character to the right-of-way. It's frequent enough, with a less than 10-minute headway for us on this Sunday. I should mention that this day saw Philly's Eagles NFL team chalking up an easy win, so the attitude of riders was laid back and carefree, with some loudly talking characters making casual phone calls as if it were their living rooms. This line may no longer be high speed by any modern definition of the word. After several accidents, the top speed for trains was lowered from 85 to 55 miles an hour, but that barely extended the line's overall running time. In less than a half hour, residents from all over the region have an additional route to Upper Darby and Philly's western neighborhoods from the connected cities on the regional rail that brought us out here. Only in Philly could a train hold on to its original brandings, from the Philadelphia and western interurban among some folks, to the high-speed line today, and finally set to become, interestingly, the M line in a rebranding to come over the next years. It's a unique line that really won me over. It operates from 5 a.m. through 2 a.m. and can feature 2 car trains at some points. Our single car saw enough riders turning over at stations along the way, coming and going from suburbs of various ilk. Truly, ridership is much lower now than it was a decade prior, owing to fewer on-site jobs being commuted to and from in Center City, but whereas some see the high-speed line as a weird survivor interurban with isolated usefulness, I see a frequent enough transit option centrally located through these old stock communities that diversifies connection points in Philly. By having 69th Street serve as many lines and modes as it does, there is the possibility for growth in these neighborhoods outside of Philly's downtown that would otherwise depend on the viability of Center City as a single hub as it is in many metropolitan areas of America. Bottom line is, I'd come out here to take this line again, spend more time in any of these hamlets, and try more routes for how quirky this one line persists to be in SEPTA's modern system. It could be expanded, but it's not likely, given the need for infrastructure modernizations needed to keep the whole SEPTA system viable into the coming century. The cars could use replacing, perhaps, but our train got us to 69th Street mostly uneventfully in operation, with the shiny look of a stainless steel trolley that is unique as any other characters in the city of brotherly love. Alright, we're at Bryn Mawr and we've got Wawa burgers. Well, one burger and one chicken sandwich. We would eat them here on the garbage can as is tradition, but another high-speed train in 8 minutes. speed. Nacho Burger. Mellow Yellow Zero. Pouring chicken sandwich with ketchup and cheese and salt?
Yep.
Hopping aboard the Market Frankfurt line was a railfan front-side window experience across town that topped off the night before we bedded down in our hostel early prior to heading to New York City the following morning. Check out that video at the link at the end, and please like and subscribe if this kind of nonsensical transit tourism is your kind of escape from the doldrums of daily life. Take care. I'll see you on the next ride.